And that's sad. My live just went away. Okay, YouTube, I'm live again. I said a lot of amazing things live, and I couldn't resume it because I'm doing it on my tablet. So I'm just going to finish this off, and then I'll try and bring the live here later. But it has to do with Ormus. I may or may not. I'm a one-woman show. I'm just doing my best over here. So I may or may not bring it back. But you guys can kind of see what I'm doing because my color is not distorted on YouTube. And the reason it's not distorted, and I also couldn't resume my live, is because I'm on my tablet on YouTube. Oh, shoot. I'm on my tablet on YouTube. And so, long story short, I made a video today posting about my product that's called the Super Immune Adaptogen Tonic. Long story short, this product does what they say that Ormus does. The difference is that it's not adulterated, it's not gone into a lab. And the difference is that there's not nanotechnology added to it. I said it really quickly. And the difference is when you have that in a product, you have artificial intelligence. And this is the only time I can say this because I'm risking my lives by saying this. So I'm only going to say it once. And when you have artificial intelligence, you have demonic influence. And my name is Cassandra. I'm the owner of a regenerative business called Hippie Happening. I have an online store. I do health consultations. I've helped many people get off of their synthetic supplements, their synthetic drugs, and their pharmaceuticals, which are all actually the same thing. They're all actually the same thing. And so everything I'm saying here, there's so much more information in my Patreon that is only $5 a month, but now I'm rethinking it because really I really think I should be charging more. But it's only $5 a month. And so everything is expanded on. I'm only going to say a little bit so I don't wear myself out too much. Because I have so many orders to complete. It's crazy. And the censorship has just run me so behind, which is why I'm streaming on 2 different places. After I went on TikTok and I made a video about my product, I mentioned Ormus very briefly. And what I said is that my product does what they say that Ormus does, except that Ormus is actually bad for you. And remember what I said about AI. They say that it gets you closer to God. They say that it decalcifies your pineal gland. They say all those things. Now, the Super Immune Adaptogen Tonic, I know about it. One of the things that's incredible for the pineal gland is the fact that there's holy basil extracted in 2 different ways. The other thing is it's actually the whole product. Because I'm extensively knowledgeable on turmeric, extensively knowledgeable on holy basil. I grow 2 types here. And I'm extensively, and it's fresh holy basil that goes into my product. And it's extracted, not only ethanol extraction, but also the water extraction. But I'm also extensively knowledgeable on mushrooms. And all of these components. And then when you combine the fact that there's pomegranate juice in there, this does exactly what they say Ormus does. It brings you closer to God. It decalcifies your pineal gland. It just does so much for your clarity and everything. And after I made this very quick video mentioning my product, mentioning that it gave me piloerection very quickly, made my head tingle, I have immense energy and focus right now. Then I very briefly mentioned Ormus and I said, this is your replacement, but it's actually not taken into a lab and it's actually not adulterated. And I said that Ormus is not good for you and this is actually good for you. And that's all that I said. But because I said that, they decided to distort my color, not only on TikTok, because if you were to see my live right here on TikTok, you'd see that I look like a vampire. I look very pale because of that brief mention I made about Ormus. And it's not just because of the brief mention about Ormus. It's because I mentioned Ormus with a solution right beside it. And there's a weird attitude with society that if you expose one thing and then mention something else to replace it, that number one, you're only saying something bad about something because you want to sell something. And number two, if it's your product, then you're just a car salesman. You're only trying to sell your product. And you know, that may be how it is with a lot of people. I'm just a different breed. I actually created my products to go against these things, so they go hand in hand. I'm never going to expose one thing and then not give a solution in the very same video, because why would I put it in a separate video? You know, I'm a very, very solution oriented person. Let me block these bots. Very, very solution oriented person, and that's what AI doesn't like, because people can expose things all day, but do they give you a real replacement? The only time that AI is really going to support a replacement against their system is when the replacement is part of controlled opposition. It's when the replacement also contains nanotechnology and people are none the wiser. So when you see something get really popular and it's going against and it's preaching against nanotech and it's preaching against the biodigital convergence, and then they're selling something, and you see that video skyrocket, and you see that influencers skyrocket so easily, and you see that post get a bunch of likes on it really quickly, it's because the thing that they're trying to sell you is also part of the system, and either they don't know about it or they do know about it and they simply don't care. And so this is why, after making that video on TikTok, and the cover photo is a cover photo of my super immune adaptogen tonic. So you can go to that video and you can see that I didn't actually say anything. Today's date is January 12th. It's the 2 videos with this on the cover, and my TikTok is Sovereign Hippie 2.0. I didn't actually say anything. I told the truth. I briefly mentioned Ormus, and I gave a solution, a real solution. Who cares that I make it? This is my business. That's how I know what I'm talking about, because I researched for this product and I made it with my hands, and I can actually tell you about it through experience. And so it decalcifies the pineal gland like nobody's business. Okay, it makes you feel closer to God immediately. It is a really beautiful thing you want to have if you're really trying to go into deep meditation and just get in the zone really quickly. And the list goes on. Immense energy, clarity, so much more. But the reason I really wanted to get on here is because it's just so crazy to me. Like I said, I really wanted to go live and show people my sriracha. Now you can see it, and I'm making this one for myself, but TikTok can't see it. And the reason that you can see it, YouTube, and the color's not distorted here, is because AI was going by my device. AI was going by my device, okay? Because I made the video on TikTok, right after that video, I meant to make another video. I tried to make another video 20 minutes later to show people my plants in my garage, and my color was distorted. And I was like, oh, wow, they distorted my color right after posting about the super immune adaptogen tonic, and then it clicked. It clicked that I made that brief mention of Ormus, and they didn't like that. And when I went to go see on this same device right here that I made the video about mentioning Ormus very briefly because I was talking about my product, I was like, oh, let me check YouTube. Let me see if it's distorted on YouTube. And the color was distorted on YouTube as well. Then I went to Instagram. I said, oh, okay, let me check Instagram. The color was distorted on Instagram as well. So whenever I go against AI, and whenever AI doesn't like what I'm saying, they'll track my device, they'll go by my device. And anywhere that I want to go live on my device, the color will be distorted. This is on 3 different apps. It will be distorted not just on TikTok, but it will also be distorted on Instagram, and it will also be distorted on YouTube. So what I'm doing here is I've got my tablet. I didn't post the video on my tablet. I posted the video on my phone. Thanks for the likes, guys. Nobody, I barely get any engagement. Anyways, and so that's why the color's here, because I didn't make the video on my tablet. So I'm actually having color here on my tablet. So I just wanted to mention that, and that's it. I'm not going to wear myself out. I have so many orders and da-da-da. Everything I said, though, if I speak against Ormus, it is coming to my Patreon. Yesterday, I finished part 13 of Ivermectin Exposed. That's all I will say. Today, I'm very briefly going to go into Mel Gibson. He's very dirty. And it's going to be a shocker for anybody who watches it. It's going to be a huge shocker, okay? Did you like the movie Sound of Freedom? That's all I'm going to say, okay? there's so much more to